Hello and welcome to Law of Health. I'm here to talk about my road back to health after quite a roller coaster ride over the number of years of being healthy and then not being so healthy. I'm going to essentially take you on my journey that is one of transformation and enlightenment with no drugs involved, I promise. So without further ado, let me get into it. First of all, why am I doing this? One of the reasons is I see a lot of resources out there on health, a lot of marketing stuff from companies who want to sell you products, and they're usually being a little less than honest. At the end of the day, they want to sell you a product. What I wanted to do was provide an educational resource that people can learn from. I've done a lot of research over time and I've accumulated a lot of knowledge that I think is based on sort of real facts and evidence of health rather than just based on marketing strategies of companies. So I wanted to provide an educational platform for people. I also wanted to document my journey of getting back to health. So because I've come from a place where I was unhealthy to being healthy to unhealthy and then now going back to healthy, I know what it takes to get healthy, and what I wanted to show people was not just the end product after being healthy for a year or 2 years or however long. I actually wanted to show everyone what it's like to go from the beginning and then go through all the phases and the steps and the processes, everything you have to experience that they don't usually show you when you follow the health gurus and so on. You're just getting to see the end result of all their efforts. And I mean, a lot of the time you don't really know their history too well. Were they always healthy? Or even if they were unhealthy, you're just seeing the end product. And whilst it can be inspiring to see these people and to think, oh, I want to be like them, so you emulate them and you follow their teachings. Sometimes it can also be daunting because you look at these people who are super fit and super healthy already, and it can almost feel impossible. If you're in a bad state of health, if you're overweight, it can be very difficult to look at them and think, oh yeah, I can do that. So that's another thing, just to document this journey so others can see what it actually takes and how long it takes and how you can sustain it. So that follows on to actually another reason why I'm doing this, and that's to make myself consistent. So as I mentioned before, I've actually gone up and down with my health, and what I wanted to do was create a series where this will actually motivate me to stay consistent, because I want to provide you with this nice path for you to follow that you can see how it all works, and this will actually help motivate me to stay on my path as well. So it helps. It's kind of a win-win. It helps us both. Also, I just kind of like the idea, I like the thought of making videos and editing and creating something, creating content. It's been a pretty fun idea for me for a long time now. And then who knows, if I make it big one day, I'll meet Christopher Nolan, and we can make a film together. Anyway, so to talk a little bit about myself, my history, you've already heard about how I've been sort of up and down over time. Essentially, as a child I was very active, always running around. I didn't have any significant health issues, probably because I was just so active, always doing some kind of sport or something like that. But then when I became a teenager, I stopped doing sports, I stopped being so active, and I started doing a lot more like drinking and lazing around and stuff like that. And when I went to university, that all kind of amplified, multiple times. And I found myself in quite a bad state of health during university. I actually got quite a bad eye infection that caused me, there were some mornings I'd wake up and I could barely open my eyes. That was kind of the beginning of of bad health, let's say. And I would go to the doctors and they would just, I would get a lot of bloated belly as well and feeling lethargic. I would go to the doctors and most of the time they would just say, we don't know what it is. It could be IBS, which essentially means there's something wrong with your gut, but they don't really have a specific diagnosis for it or any reason why. or and when I suggested any alternative theories, they laughed me out of the the clinic. So these health issues then kind of just progressively got worse. I had chronic issues with tiredness and bloating, and this happened to me throughout my final years of university. And then when I started working, it just got so much worse because I was earning money and I thought I could do anything, and I went out clubbing and partying and drinking more and eating all the worst foods you could imagine, like KFC and all these kind of things. And my health just degraded greatly. And it got to a point where I was at the point where I was feeling sick every day. I was finding it difficult to get out of bed. And I've suffered quite a few ailments over time. The one that's always consistent is to be very bloated, to have a very distended belly that's poking out all the time. And of course part of that is fat. But also there's just some level of inflammation or bloating there that was always just sitting there. On top of that, I have psoriasis, which pops up in patches all over my body. I also have it quite badly all over my head, just in patches. And as you can see by the redness on my cheeks, this has happened in the last year or so, year or two. Is this rosacea. And it's actually started to just get progressively worse. It's at its worst state that it's ever been now. It's spread more across my nose. But essentially, those are the main ones. But also just a general sleeping issues, not good quality sleep. Generally lethargy, just not having much energy or motivation to actually get up and do anything. As well as also getting quite stiff joints and feeling like they're a bit creaky, which adds to the whole feeling of sort of laziness and being lethargic. And then of course, the gut issues, bowel movements, all this kind of stuff. And just a general feeling of discontentment that, that comes from, the moodiness that's caused by being in bad health. As well as, of course, it's not a nice feeling to actually be in this state. So what I'm doing now is, since the 1st of May, I actually started a healthy diet again. I'm starting a healthy lifestyle. The main part of that is my diet. The plan I'm following currently, just for the month of May, is I'm eating 1 meal a day only, and the rest of the time I'm only having water. And that one meal is low carb, so I'm mostly staying away from any high carb foods. There are a few that I eat, but the overall consumption in a day is low. And they're generally always whole foods, so I'm not eating anything processed. So no breads or anything like that. It's always going to be meat that is in its whole state, as in, it could be slices of meat, it could be a steak or something like that, but I'm not going to eat something like processed ham, for example, which is, greatly processed. They add things to it and then they do it. I eat very little of any kind of processed meats. So that's the main thing I'm following. Eating once a day, eating low carb, eating whole food, just trying to stick to that for the month. After that, I'll adjust slightly to be a bit more relaxed. I just kind of wanted to have a month of maximum effect. It's the 16th of May today, so we're 16 days in. I've lost 4 kilograms so far. That's not all fat. Some of that is going to be water weight as well. But yeah, there's obviously some fat loss there. I mean, you can't lose 4 kilograms without some fat going. So I'm starting to feel better. My mood is improving. Day by day, I'm starting to feel a lot more steady with my energy. And the bloating is starting to go down. My belly is starting to go flatter. I was having quite bad blepharitis here, where you get lots of sort of dandruff on your eyelashes kind of thing. That's reduced already. The rosacea has stayed, but that I expect to take a while. So I'm on a good path towards something great. What I'm hoping for in the future, the number one thing is just to maintain a healthy lifestyle, to sustain exactly what I've been doing now, to only indulge very, occasionally, it's okay, and to get back to a really state of health. as well as that, I just want to continue to produce this content to help others so that they can also, you know, be inspired or to follow their own journey. And you know, I want to be able to create this community and help others, and also help myself at the same time. Create as much education as possible. I want to bust all the health myths out there that are put out by marketing companies and so on. I want to hopefully get down to a good level of body fat. And what would be fantastic is if I could get rid of this rosacea here, which I believe with good health, with optimum health, that's gonna reduce, if not go away entirely. And then, you know, live a very long, healthy life. If it's possible to live forever through health, then why not? But I mean, that's maybe some sci-fi stuff down the road. So in summary, I've come a long way in my life. My health has been up and down, and I've learned a lot along the way. I have a lot of knowledge and experience. Now that I've started this journey since the 1st of May, I've already come a long way, I feel. In just 16 days, there's been, you know, a transformation just within myself, as well as some of the external stuff, the physical. But of course, I have a long way to go, and I want you guys to join me on this journey. I want you to learn. I want myself to learn along the way, and then we can hopefully all get to optimum health. And I want to help as many as people as possible to get to this point. So with that said, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative in any way, please like it. That helps the YouTube algorithms a whole lot to help me reach other people. Subscribe to my channel so that you can receive further updates. You can see whether I succeed or fail in this endeavor. And thank you very much for joining me on my journey. Bye bye.